Welcome back to another week of the Launch Sequence Podcast, episode 37, a lovely number, a favorite number. It's been a busy week, and to round it all off, I've got the man, the myth, the legend, the best voice in Star Citizen, in my opinion. Dig that. How you doing, man?
Doing well, sir. Appreciate you having me on the show.
Of course.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, and I know we're going to have questions about the filter that you've got, so explain to the people, because I know they're going to be asking. Yeah, most people haven't seen Dig That, actually, now that I think of it. You generally don't show your face, right?
Yeah, it's just been all about the voice. Yeah. Thought I have something to show, you know what I mean? Just so people can have a face or some kind of face to attach to the voice.
For sure. So you have been, let's see, you joined in Star Citizen a few years back, right?
That's about right, yeah.
Yeah, and you came from Elite Dangerous. How did that end up happening? I guess, how did you get into Elite, and then how did you go from there to Star Citizen?
I got into Elite because that's when I bought my first gaming computer. It was about 2016, 2017. And I bought VR. That's the only reason I bought a computer, because I've always been a console boy.
Same.
Oh, okay.
What were you, Xbox, PlayStation, Wii?
Xbox.
Okay.
Xbox.
Gotcha.
Yeah. But so I just wanted something good to play with the VR, and that had Elite Dangerous came highly recommended. So I got into that, blown away, and became a career, man. That's one thing I heard about Elite, that it was incredible in VR. Like, you didn't even understand how big the ships were until you put the headset on. Yeah, that's absolutely true, man. They are massive. And you don't get that scale even now with Odyssey. Yeah. To me. Maybe it's different for other people, but yeah, once you have VR, then it just looks incredible because you're just looking and it's all around you. Yeah. I've only gotten to experience VR and, like, you know, I don't even know if they do it now because of COVID, but back when VR was starting to get popular, maybe 3-4 years ago, they would have like the ones in the store that you could put on and try out for a couple minutes, and they'd show you. That's the only time I've done VR, but from what I've seen since then, it is blown up in terms of getting better and better, and like, I can't wait for a game like Star Citizen to get it. Oh, yeah. I can't imagine them trying that now. It seemed like it would just blow your computer up. Oh, my God. People do it. Somebody hit me up in my comments saying that nobody talks about that. Mm-hmm. And so maybe I'll try it, but I'm not expecting good results, but it might be worth looking into. It used to be a thing. I think there was some kind of a plugin or an app or something that you would use to make it kind of like hack into the game to work. Yeah. It was never really a great experience, but people did it. Yeah, VorpX. Right. Yeah, that's VorpX. Yeah. So you just you said you started playing Elite Dangerous and it just became a career, but plenty of people try to make YouTube videos and never reach 20,000 subs or really anywhere close to that. What do you think? Like, what was it that got you going in Elite? I think the fact that I wasn't watching a whole lot of Elite Dangerous content, so I didn't have this precedent of what Elite Dangerous or a YouTube video period should be. So I just kind of did my own thing and was, tried to be entertaining as well as knowledgeable. And if you can combine those two things, I think you can succeed in just about anything. Oh yeah, definitely. That it's surprising how hard it is to be knowledgeable and entertaining at the same time. But it works out, and the voice helps. Not gonna lie. But you did a lot of, at least some of the more popular videos I've seen from you in Star Citizen were smuggling, right? I know you had like a smuggling guide, and you did a couple videos about trading and that kind of stuff. Is that something that you've jumped more into since you got into Star Citizen? It's something that I keep my eye out on. It's really hard to maintain some consistency with that, just because they keep pulling the plug on on the availability of commodities. And so, I was like, okay, this is going to be my thing. I'm going to be the trade guy. And then they pull the plug and I'm like, all right, what am I going to do now? Yeah. That's, man, following Star Citizen, I said this like last week, I think on Twitter, I was like, trying to make your release schedule for content based on the schedule that CIG puts out for Star Citizen is just a recipe for failure. Trying to cover, it's impossible, man. Trying to cover a certain segment of gameplay can see you doing like really well one quarter, and then suddenly next quarter you have nothing to make content about. That's tough. That's true, but I think it's good. It gives you some flexibility, the agility to be able to move from doing one thing into other things. Yeah. because if you just concentrate on one thing, no matter how good you are, it's a chance that you could become stagnant.
Yeah.
And, that can only go so far for so long. So if you're agile, you can move into other stuff with fluidity.
That's how I treat it. People generally will ask, like, what kind of content do you make for Star Citizen? I can never really nail it down because I feel like there's something different to do all the time. So in terms of...
I thought I was the same way. I thought I was the only one that said that. No, what kind of content you make?
Yeah, it's hard. Because some people will be like, oh yeah, I cover news. But it's like, okay, I cover news, but also there's this really cool feature that's out that I want to do a review on. Or like this ship came out, that like, I'm a big fan of this ship. I don't like ships, but I like that ship. And I want to do a video on that one,
Gotcha.
And like, I look at the YouTube landscape of Star Citizen and I wonder really if we're going to get a whole bunch of people covering everything, or like you said, people are going to start to specialize down more and just have a wide range of creators.
It'd be interesting to see. I started seeing after I left Elite Dangerous, more people were doing not, I don't want to say copy me, but doing similar stuff. Because once you see something's working and you enjoy it, then you want to emulate it if you're going to become a content creator. Yeah. That becomes the basis of where you start from.
Yeah, yeah. You find that good video you did and you keep working on that formula. But talking of Star Citizen content, though, this week, like I mentioned a bit at the beginning, has been... I don't know how to describe it. It's been one of those weeks. Everybody who's a fan of Star Citizen knows those weeks. We have probably, I would say, at least 2 a year. But this is a particularly bad one, I would say. And it generally comes from the Roadmap Roundup that was released this week. And this is a special Roadmap Roundup. For anybody who doesn't follow Star Citizen year by year, or isn't really close, I'm going to do a little monologue here. But basically, at the beginning of every year, they take January off to kind of plan and figure things out. And then they come to us and they say, okay, here's what we're thinking for the rest of the year. Here's kind of our switch up in our philosophy. Here's how we're going to do things. And they came out this week and they were kind of like, we're just going to scale back a little bit on what we're telling you guys because y'all are being annoying. And like, it wasn't, they didn't try to hit that tone, but for a lot of people, I think it did come off that way. What kind of reactions have you been seeing to it?
I've been trying to avoid the reactions because we already know what the reactions are. But what I have seen is the memes have been going crazy, man.
The memes are flowing. Of course.
Yes, they are. Yeah.
The subreddit, the Spectrum. Oh, yeah. Memes got to be flowing.
Yeah.
Emporium.
Yeah. It's understandable, but I've been trying to just steer away with that. Like with my Discord, I've seen a few rants and I've just kind of been wanting to put out those fires just because like my Discord is to chill out and relax. Mm-hmm. Like every other place on the internet that talks about Star Citizen is ranting right now. So there's your place for that. But you come to my place, then we chilling. We enjoying the game.
You guys just playing still?
Yeah.
Well, So do you don't really have too much of an opinion on it?
I do. And it's not so much the tone was wrong. And I ain't gonna say wrong. The tone was wrong for I don't know what kind of response they were expecting. But if they were trying to just explain to people, yo, this is the process and sometimes things get cut off, that would have been fine. But they was like, yo, we're going to do this with emotional detachment. But y'all dudes are loud and noisy and we can't take it no more. And I was like, whoa, Sean Spicer, chill out, man. This is bananas. It was hilarious to watch, man. I was like, yo, we know exactly what's going to happen in Reddit now.
Yeah. And the problem is, like, I know where they're coming from. You do things most people who work in a company know where it's coming from. You do things in a company that are outward facing and like people have a problem with that. But you can't go back to them and be like, well, the reason that we have this problem is because you idiots keep buying this product instead of this one. And like, you can't tell them, yeah, they might be the problem, but you can't tell that to them. It just causes more trouble because not only does it get those people who were the problem, it gets all the people who weren't the problem who now feel like they're the problem. And
it does.
And then that's happened in the past before too. I can't think of any off the top of my head. Honestly, they all just kind of blur together. But it comes back to kind of the same issue that CIG has had, which seems to be communication, whether that be too much, too little, or the wrong way. And yeah, I guess, you're right. Everybody is ranting about it right now, but I do think there is some talk that needs to be had about it, because it's also a sort of, we don't really know, me and you as content creators here, we don't know what the heck is going to happen now, right? We could cover the next quarter of updates, yeah, but it sounds to me like they're saying if a feature isn't going to definitely be in that patch, we're not going to put it on there yet. So like, there's basically no more talking about the future of the game in terms of small features.
That, one of the not Star Citizen developers, but a game developer, in my Discord, he said that this is why most companies aren't this transparent, because when you are, you're inevitably going to run into this exact problem.
Right.
And they're reacting to the terrorists rather than just doing what they're doing and keeping us informed. Maybe they could do the roadmap a little different, where they have, like, say, the 317 column, and then right next to that is another column with the maybes that might go into there, and you put that column in pink, so it is clearly
very clear
not something that is definitely going to be in there.
Got to have the red circles, the red arrows, all this stuff.
Yeah, you just paint the whole thing, just go crazy with it.
I do kind of, I agree with that, though, that they just, you're looking at the people who are causing all the noise. And really, I think this could have been a change rather than a removing of stuff. The progress tracker, I love it. It's cool. But the release view it was good. Not only was the release view good for stuff that's coming in the future, I loved going back in the release view to look at the old features we got and to see how the patches were stacking up and stuff. And when we got this feature, I hope they don't remove that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I don't want them to, like I said, react emotionally to this and start taking away stuff, because they call it a vocal minority for a reason. Like, the rest of us is just chilling. The guys that are making all the noise, I mean, some of them got some money into it, but a lot of them probably got the $45 package or have no package. They just like to get in there.
Oh,
I know people that watch my videos that just for ranting against Star Citizen. Yep. So, yes. I mean, that's not something to respond to. You see it and you keep it moving.
Right. There's a non-insignificant amount of people who don't even play the game who will jump on these events and talk about them. Or, yeah. Some of these people spend more time. I didn't want to say that. Sorry, man. I didn't want to say that to make it seem like if you have a $45 package, you shouldn't have a voice. I'm just saying that a lot of the people that do have a voice be like, well, I spent $500 to $5,000 on it. I'm just saying there's a difference, like, between ranting about it and having some money into it because you felt misled or something like that, which you shouldn't if you did your homework, and just somebody that bought it at the minimum. Yeah, not to gatekeep outrage, right? But like,
right,
if it's common knowledge. If you're $45 into a project, nobody's going to expect you to be as emotional as if you were $1,000 into a project. So like, if you come in and you're swinging it when you got like, I put $45 into this, you're like, okay, see if it becomes a $45 game then. I mean, not to say, hey, those people who are spending extra money deserve more say or anything like that, but the emotional response makes sense given how much money you've put into it.
Yeah.
But there are people out there who are spending more time jumping into these conversations than even fans of the game do sometimes. It's quite wild. Yep. So
yes, it is.
In terms of my biggest problem with the features we saw removed, and it's a kind of a different conversation. This is less about their communication and more about the feature progress we've been making. And the one thing that I really wanted to see this year that they just removed from the release view was the player interaction experience, which is from what I'm getting, kind of like that layer on top of the game that you get that tells you like, here's where you need to do this, here's what to do. This is like the marker for this switch and this button and oh, you fell down. Just polishing that sort of quality of life for newcomers. I thought that was going to be super, super important this year. Was there anything that you were looking forward to that got delayed or removed for now, or something that you thought was going to be pretty crucial?
I don't know about crucial, but one I was very, very, very much looking forward to NPC taxi missions, just because that was one of the things that I like to do in Elite Dangerous.
Mm-hmm.
But it would be like the enhanced version where you can actually go see your passengers.
Yeah.
That was I couldn't wait for that, but oh well, down the road. And then there was one other thing persistent hangars, man. Persistent hangars, dude, because I thought that was supposed to affect cargo trading significantly.
Yeah.
And so that one hurt. But yeah, those are the main two right there. I really wish they hadn't cut those. But I saw it coming because every time there's a patch where there's 2 or more significant items on there, like game-changing items, only one of them was going to survive.
That's
just how it goes.
Except 315. Because we got the inventory and that medical system. That was good.
Oh,
that was nice.
Yeah, that's true. That's very true.
That's actually a good point about the hangars. And now that I think of it, they also delayed the Hull C, which has looked pretty complete from what we've been seeing in terms of gray box. They've been talking about doing final artwork on it and all that kind of stuff. I'm wondering, with those 2 delays, if they're, and this is, obviously this is speculation. Don't take this from the podcast, people, and start running with it. But I'm wondering if they're having trouble with the cargo refactor, in that maybe the other things that were going to accompany it, like the Hull C and the hangars, they're thinking, okay, let's maybe give this a little more breathing room just in case. I hope that's not the case, because the cargo refactor is long overdue. But that is a good point, that the hangars were a good one that I was hoping to see. And then the passenger transport, that was one of the things that when I first jumped into Elite, green boots, I didn't know what I was doing. I'd never jumped into Star Citizen. This is just my first time in a space game, and I went out into space, and I remember on the comms getting like a message that looked like sort of a captain doing a tour for their guests on like a cruise ship. They were like, oh yeah, and if you look out the left side, there's blah, blah, blah. And like, it was just some random text they posted, but I fell in love with that, dude. That was so cool. So I was super excited for the personnel transports as well. Because
I've never seen that before, man.
No?
When was this?
This was like 2015, probably.
Oh, that's before my time.
I thought that was just something they do. So you don't get that kind of stuff in the game now?
Are we talking about Elite or Star Citizen?
Yeah, this is Elite.
Yeah, you do get text that pops up.
Okay, yeah, that's what I meant. This is all in Elite.
Yeah, that's right. I forgot about that. Yeah. And it does kind of draw you in to the things, because sometimes you'll see like whatever not the dolphin, but whatever that big orca or whatever that big passenger ship is, and you'll see like announcements, like announcing a wedding on board that cruise ship, and it was just little stuff like that.
Exactly.
That adds up to build up some immersion for the game. Yeah, that was nice.
That means it means nothing. Like, it's probably so simple for the devs to do that, but it also means a lot. And that's kind of something that I was really looking forward to with those personnel transports. Also a new type of mission. Everybody's like, oh, you can't do anything in this game. What's better than being able to transport people places? Oh, that's a bummer.
It is.
Do you watch a lot of the social media surrounding Star Citizen? Reddit, Spectrum, Twitter? You just mainly stick to YouTube?
No. Not even a lot of YouTube, man.
No. Okay.
Maybe, I don't know, maybe I just don't want to just catch other people's vibe and start unconsciously copying it. Mm-hmm. But I don't get on. I get on the social media platforms a little bit, but that's mostly to keep up with specific people like Disco Lando, or like the community managers. But never just to see what the community is talking about.
It's a wild community. I mean, the memes show enough, but it's wild, man. I started out on Reddit and quickly realized that that's one of the more intense places in Star Citizen. Yeah,
Reddit's a beast, man. I've known a couple content creators who tried to start up a channel, and now they're former content creators because they got beat up on Reddit so bad they just dipped out.
Reddit hurts. But they've got some good things to say. I like them. So let's switch over then to talk about Inside Star Citizen yesterday, because they showed us a new form of gameplay, something that we haven't seen before, and we've been waiting a little while for. In fact, the Starfarer. Right. The Starfarer was the first big ship in the game. It's like 6 years old by now, 5 years old. So it's been pretty much useless up until now. And now they're introducing refueling. What did you think of that?
It looked a lot better than I had imagined. The layout for the UI it looked complex without looking difficult to use. And by complex, I mean it had several different operations you could do with releasing the gas, adjusting the flow of it. And I thought that was incredible. I thought maybe we would have got like kind of tier 0 dumbed down version, but that looks great. It was fantastic. I can't wait to get my hands on it.
Yeah.
What about you?
Oh man, I love it. I mean, like you said, it's great that they're throwing in complications. I am interested in seeing if there's going to be how easy it's going to be for somebody who has no idea what they're doing to just press a button and get refueled, right? If you're a beginner and you got lost out in space somewhere, it's nice to have this complex refueling mechanic that somebody could use to come save you. But if you're a newcomer, if you've never refueled and suddenly you have to go through this like 10-step process to get fuel, it might not be great. So kind of like with the medical system, we have that sort of like all that complex stuff with the different drugs and all that. But I do hope that they make it easy for newcomers to get that fuel when they need it.
I think the most difficult thing is going to be docking, because docking with the stations is kind of tough in itself, man.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, especially you get that desync. Makes it real fun.
Yeah, I don't think it'd be too bad, because I was going through it again after my reaction stream last night, and it looks pretty simple. And there was I started picking up on things where if you hit up on one, it'll release some gas. It like you hit up on one of the pods and then you open the other pods, it'll start flowing gas to the other pods. I don't know why you want to refuel, and I mean like why you want to take the gas out of one and then refuel the other, but it's there. It looks easy. You just watch it a couple times and there it is. But that's what you for, man. You got to make them tutorials for people to find out, man.
I don't know about that. I mean, I know there's the cool thing is, there's people out there who look at the fuel rats from Elite Dangerous and they're like, yeah, this is it. This is my chance. And I kind of wonder if that's actually going to happen, because now everybody's going to want to do that.
Yeah.
But every time we see something new like this come in, I think it's always an opportunity for somebody else to become the face of that profession. Somebody come in and they're like, hey, I'm all about fuel. Here's my YouTube channel. I'm excited for that.
Yeah, I think somebody will do it, because after the initial honeymoon stage wears off with it, after everybody's tried it, and then people are like, yeah, I don't want to sit in the middle of nowhere waiting on a call.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Most people ain't gonna want to do that, but then you get the Star Citizen version of Fuel Rats that be all about that, like you said.
Exactly. Yeah. What's the next thing that you want to see, like profession wise?
The next thing I want to see isn't something that we'll see for a very long time, because I want to be able to hop in the Reliant Mako and broadcast some events and have them stream to other people's ship monitors. That's what I want.
Okay, yeah. So you want to be
obviously
the journalist?
Yeah. I'd love to be a journalist. Little pirate radio action, pirate broadcast.
That'd be sick. The Mako's the only ship in the game that does that, I think, right now, right? Or at least is planned to. Yeah, that's a big deal. People. This is something I was talking about in a video I'm working on. But like, people will say pay to play or pay to win. But like, if you want to do this, what you're talking about, there's only one ship that can, and it's, I think, $60 or something like that.
Yeah, is it $60?
Yeah, I don't know. It's around
sounds
there.
About right.
Reliance are down there somewhere.
But they're really cheap to buy in game, man.
Oh yeah. I mean, that's just a whole nother question. You don't even have to play for more than a week for that.
Yeah.
So you're into the filming. How about something like exploration? Is that all up your alley?
Yeah, I mean, I want to do everything. Exploration is one of the big ones. I just can't picture how that's going to work right now. We've got a division for that with a leader who's all ready to chomp at the bit, or who's chomping at the bit to get into that. I just can't see how it's going to work with the limited amount of places we have. Are we just going to be discovering resources? Because I don't see us discovering planets and moons and stuff like that. Yeah. But maybe we will. It's just a question mark for me. Then I've kind of put a sticky note on it, and we'll get to that when we get to it. I think,
that's a lot of people's feeling on it. It's like, exploration, but what? I think that it's going to be resources. I think a lot of it's going to be finding resources for miners, resources for like derelicts. Finding derelicts will probably be a big one, especially with what they're talking about with that now. I don't know though. People thinking that they're going to be finding jump points, or like you said, planets, and it's like, well, how many of those are actually going to be hidden? And yeah, maybe people have talked about the possibility of them kind of introducing new systems through discovery. Maybe they'll do that. That would be interesting.
Dig that. I would like to see a lot of jump points being discovered. Maybe some org has cut off the entrance to some location, and you find a jump point that'll put you behind them.
Oh my gosh, the amount of outrage that would cause. Oh man, people already don't like orgs. We took our org to Jumptown, and we were doing some casual, very nice, very polite trading and queuing people up to get boxes and stuff. People won't have it. So imagine locking down a freaking jump point. But that's the kind of gameplay we're looking for, right? The emergent.
So, wait, you guys were sharing resources with everybody?
Yeah. You were doing a
conga line?
Yeah. Well, not exactly a conga line. So what we do is what I try to do with my org is if we take over a place, we take over the existing services and just use them in our favor. So, we'll take Jumptown and we'll say, okay, if you guys want boxes, you have to contact our radio. We'll put you in a queue. You come down. We give you this many boxes. You can go sell them. You have to get back in the queue. That way we can make sure that we're scalping off the most boxes, but we're still keeping the peace and keeping business going.
Okay. See, that makes more sense because the conga lines that doesn't benefit anybody.
No.
Everybody gets nothing. Well, minimal. Everybody gets a box.
Yeah. It's hard to do the math too, because it's like you want to make sure that these people can come and get their services just to the point where they're not really looking to disrupt what you're doing. But you also want to make sure they're not making like more profit per person than you are. And those boxes get expensive. So there's a balance to it. But I really like that. That's one of like 10 different approaches to that event. And seeing people do different things is, I think, good news for the game.
Yeah, it really is, man. I love figuring out like stuff that wasn't necessarily intended from the start. That worked now, like snowboarding.
I saw that.
Yeah, man, I love doing that.
Oh no, did you do Jumptown at all?
Oh yeah, man. Yeah, and for a while I was like, this is okay money, but then I figured out how to do it the illegal way, which pays way more money. I was like, okay, the legal stuff is out the window.
Which makes sense. That's how it probably should be, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Speaking of, actually, this just reminded me, you had a really good video recently. What is Star Citizen? You put it out, I think, at the beginning of January or somewhere around like a month ago or two.
Yeah, about a week into January.
Yeah,
week or two.
Yeah. I watched that. I watched it once, and then I watched it again a couple days ago, and really liked the editing. You got shots from everything. Like you described Star Citizen in 10 minutes, and you showed people every bit of it. What was it like putting that together?
Those are videos I don't do too much anymore, but it's just a lot of work. It's not something that you can do in a couple of days, and you got to be organized. You got to have your shot list down that you've taken from your script, and just know that you're going to spend 8+ hours going out, traveling all around Stanton just to get a 2-second clip.
Yep. Oh,
so
God.
It's a lot of work, but it was rewarding that people were interested in it, and a lot of people decided to buy into the game just because now they felt like they had a decent description of what it is, and they could see it and not just hear about it. Yeah,
I think that was a little bit better than the What is Star Citizen video CIG put out last year. I don't know why they don't do a more traditional version like you did. They generally do a trailer with no words, or really it just basically looks like a launch trailer for a patch, and I feel like people don't find that to be genuine. What you put out felt super genuine, not just because you got shots of everything, but you had a lot of like the community shots, people playing the game together, events going on. Those aren't like shots you can just half-ass and get. That's like you were recording while you were doing that stuff.
Yeah. It's a lot of work, but it's fun work too, man.
Yeah.
And I wanted to convey that playing the game is fun. Yes, it's long in development. Yes, there are bugs.
It's long.
But we still play this every day and have a lot of fun with this game.
Right.
And if you can get past just the little Star Citizen scam and like I keep talking about Reddit. It's not just Reddit. It's people with just loud voices that are like.
DigThat's got a problem with Reddit.
Nah, I really don't, man. There's some cool folks on there. Yeah. But yeah, if you can just get past the naysaying from people, it's just like people who invest in stock, and then you got these naysayers like, yo, don't invest in that. You can't beat the stock market. Yo, man, if you just take a little time and try it for yourself, you might find something that's worth your time.
Yeah. I mean, I hate to draw the direct parallel because they're just not even in the same league. But like the James Webb Space Telescope just went up into space, and that is just the crown jewel of human engineering right there. Amazing mission. The James Webb Space Telescope.
I thought you said James Woods. I was like, they didn't name a telescope after him, man.
No. The big old replacement to the Hubble.
Okay.
It just went up, and that is for anybody who's following that thing went so long past its due date. We had so many promises on it that were broken. We had so many roadmaps that would say, this is where it's headed. The budget was like 10 I don't want to put a number to it. The budget was super, super high compared to what it was planned to be. And it ended up being a success. Now, that's not to say that Star Citizen is going to be a success, but it is to show that during the process of making these things, you can go either way. There's no reason to sit here and say Star Citizen is definitely going to be a success. It's going to be huge. Just like there's no reason to say Star Citizen is a scam. It's not going anywhere. It's going to fail. We're all just kind of sitting in the middle ground, playing to have fun and enjoying it while it lasts. And I think you have a good point of kind of avoiding dealing with the opposite say of that, because that doesn't affect us, Like,
right.
People could say all the negative stuff they want about the game, but if you're still able to jump in and play it, why does it matter?
There it is, man. You gotta ignore the people who are in it to hate on it, man. Yeah. Just like I don't know what they're getting out of it, but they want you to feel as miserable about Star Citizen as they do. Why? Ignore them.
You see that in other things. You see that in like politics. When people are like really, really down about politics, they'll go to other people and tell them about why they're down and what's wrong and that kind of thing. And it's like there is definitely space for that. Anybody who's listening, don't get us wrong. Criticism definitely needs to be put against CIG for some of the things they do, but there are different conversations to be had surrounding this game. And like we're talking about features here and what features are coming and what we're excited for. That's not a conversation in my mind that melds with the idea that people are spending money and this game is a scam. There are different parts of Star Citizen to talk about. That's what I'm saying. It's confusing, but I'm trying to separate the whole money talk from the actual enjoyment of the game and like watching the game progress talk. And right. I feel like you generally stick to that just watch the game kind of side.
Yeah, I'm just here to have fun. Everything else, that's somebody else's lane. That's I guess Salty Mike's lane.
I feel it. So you're not going to put out a video about this roadmap change? You're not going to have a little rant?
Nah, because I would just be echo. I don't want to be an echo chamber, first of all. Yeah. But I don't feel that strongly about it anyway, because like you said earlier, man, we've seen this. Everybody that's been around, we've already seen this happening. It's just every January, it's going to happen like this. Maybe that they won't release another post like they did.
Yeah, I think they'll think about that again.
Yeah, but stuff gets gutted. It's going to happen. But we're going to get new stuff every quarter. As long as that happens, I'm good.
Yeah, we better. That's kind of... So I do have a rant, but it's not public. It's unlisted. Anybody who's on the Discord can watch it. But what I talk about in mine isn't necessarily the fact that they've changed everything. It's kind of like it feels sort of like the vibe of a lot of the decisions they've made lately have been a little bit off base. The communication hasn't necessarily been there, I think, as much as it should have, especially because they're now trying to drive some focus to the progress tracker. But if you go on the progress tracker and look at it, you'll notice a lot of dates aren't updated. You'll notice some things. In my video, I point out that there were 890 jump mission improvements, there were comm array mission improvements, and there was the counterfeiting and hacking missions. All three of those were on the roadmap, on the progress tracker, and their current work finished last year. We didn't get it in game. We haven't heard about it on ISC or monthly reports or anything like that. And one of my main issues is just that there are like a lot of these little things that are happening that they could communicate to us about that they don't. And more than not giving us content, it's just kind of confusing, especially to somebody who's trying to cover the game and tell people, hey, gameplay is coming. This is what they're working on. I tell people, yo, look at the progress tracker. We got missions finishing in September, October, and November. We might see these next January. January comes and goes, and there's not a peep about it. So I'm like, CIG, I need you guys to be a little more clear with what's going on here, or else we just look like fools.
Yeah, they put out a ton of information, more information than I can keep up with.
Yeah,
but then there's these blind spots, like you're talking about, where they haven't updated things, and you and Board Gamer, y'all gonna see that more than I will, because the progress tracker has a wealth of information.
Oh my God,
but it's so too much for me. It's too much. Like you hit one drop down menu and this whole thing comes flying down. You're like, oh my God, I can't. This is too much.
Yeah, it is. The progress tracker is pretty crazy, and then you click through it and it leads you to another team. I do think there are some improvements they can make there to like show dependencies a little bit better, which sounds like that's their goal with the progress tracker, is to like show how complex it all is. I do think that would be helpful if they maybe had like an arrow that came to the other thing that had to be done for that to work or something. But yeah, I see where they're going, and I agree. We're gonna get stuff every quarter. But they need to do a good job of helping us understand, like, why. I mean, they're telling us what, but we got to know why as well. Why is something that we've kind of gotten more and more of over time, and then less at certain times. Like, we used to have other shows. I don't know if you watched those or if that was before your time, but we used to have, like, Bug Smashers, where we'd see a lot of kind of them fixing the actual problems. And we used to get more content, I would say, on Inside Star Citizen back when it was around the verse. And what we would hear back then was a lot of the why of why things was going on. With its new formats, we don't really get that as much. So while they're doing this and they're pulling back some of this forward-facing info on time, I do hope that we get more detailed information on the short amount of time that we're looking at.
It would be nice. Some like Bug Smashers is a little esoteric for your boy, so I can see them putting that out there, and then not a lot of people tuning in.
Yeah.
But for the people that get what they're doing, then it does make sense. Maybe if they can make a simplified version of that, the TLDR for the rest of us, then yeah, I think that would be a great idea.
Yeah. And that's a good point. Maybe that's a waste of time doing something like Bug Smashers. That we're at this time where the company has changed from like just this small project of Star Citizen. Well, small, it's like $60 million, but just this like relatively small Star Citizen project to a big old CIG. They're huge. They're buying this 1,000-person building and all this stuff. I guess they kind of had to dumb down or generalize the content they were putting out. What's your opinion on the way that they've grown since you started following? I know you don't dive too much into the details, but I'm sure you've noticed they're hiring a bunch of people. They've got like 700 plus now. They're looking to expand in Manchester. What are you thinking about all that?
Well, I think it's great that they've got some growth. They're employing a lot of people. They're putting more resources into it. But there's also a limit to how many resources you could throw at something before it starts to become inefficient. I mean, that's just kind of a general thing that you can apply to anything. And maybe they do have something for everybody to do to where it all makes sense. 1,000 people sounds like a ton of people, especially. Yeah. What did they start with? Like 60, something like that?
I mean, they started from like 5.
5?
Yeah, like 5 to 10 originally.
Okay. Yeah, maybe I hope it works out. They're putting the money into it. And that's the other thing, man. People like 450 million or whatever it is in no game. Like they didn't spend 450 million. They've raised it and they're putting it into resources to build up the game.
Yeah.
But I'm glad they're using it wisely, hopefully wisely.
Yeah. As long as they're reinvesting, I think it's good. I do worry a little bit about the velocity of growth. I'm not a business person. This is like the Space Tomato is my first attempt at a business, so I don't really know how to run a large business, but I do worry a little bit about how fast they have to grow and the pressure that puts on them to make money, and then the pressure that puts on us to kind of ignore how much they're trying to make money. I think that could be a little bit unhealthy for the project.
You never know. My thought on it is that it's a business and they're in business to make money.
Yeah.
As long as I don't have to, as long as I'm not obligated to pay a subscription, which is funny because I'm a subscriber.
Not obligated though.
But not obligated. Yeah. As long as people can pay their $45 and jump in, I think that's fine. They can make money hand over fist doing whatever, selling ships. Mm-hmm. I don't have a problem with it. I think a lot of people have a problem with thinking that they're putting the ships first ahead of development, which it's all tied in together. I mean, the ships have jobs. There's gameplay loops that the ships will have roles for. And it's not like the ship people can say, all right, that's enough ships. Let's go finish the game.
Yeah.
It doesn't even make sense.
Yeah. So, they're just like, oh, okay, we're not doing ships anymore. You guys can just refine with the Terrapin or whatever. Because you're right. I mean, it's all tied together. If we want to have salvage gameplay, we have to have a salvage ship. If we want to do refueling gameplay, you need a refueling ship. And I actually just did a stream the other day because for some reason in the year 2022, the great year of our Lord Pico, there are still major gaming publications that are putting out videos that are saying that you can't fly the ships in Star Citizen. So
really?
Yeah. I did a whole stream. I pulled up the video. I ran it on the stream. Looked at all the ships they said you couldn't fly, and then we pulled out every single one of them and showed you that you could fly them. Because it's like,
nice.
They're still doing this, man. It's crazy.
Yeah, people are running on old information and putting it out there like it's current.
Yeah.
And they're like, how can this be?
Yeah. And then everybody wonders why everyone's so negative about this game.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's a double-edged, it's a fine-edged sword that Cloud Imperium has to walk with. They release a bunch of information, and then you got people that don't think they release the right information about what they want to see, and then people get angry. It's too much crowd control to be even responding to it. I would have just said, look, dude, we're cutting this off the roadmap. All right.
Yeah. With the messaging, with the Roundup. Mm-hmm. Yeah, just explain what you're doing, explain how you're going to change things. Getting into all of the emotions and stuff was just... And you know what that's going to mean? That's a whole nother round of articles. A whole nother round of this going around the press.
Kotaku is right now.
Oh, yeah. Man. So, it's a problem that CIG spawns for itself and one that they have to deal with. Best of luck to them. But I don't really think that this is going to have a big impact, to be honest, on the year. A lot of people are saying, oh, this looks like it's going to be another bad year. Like, these aren't good signs. I still think this is a super important year for the game. They need to come out. They need to produce and let people know that they're making a real game this year. We need more mission content. We need more things that people can jump straight into the game and do. And right now on the roadmap, we're not seeing that. So I do hope that they kind of switch things up a little bit mid-year, but we'll see.
What you didn't, you asked me what I was, what got cut off the roadmap for next patch that I was looking forward to. What about you, man?
Oh, it was definitely the player interaction experience, but also FPS scanning and radar, I think is really important. And something that we kind of needed last year. So we have on the ground NPCs that can kill us, NPCs that won't kill us, commodities we can pick up, loot boxes, minables that we can get, derelicts that we can discover, caves that we can discover. That's like 7 important things that we have access to that actually give us a lot of gameplay, and you can't locate any of them. I mean, if you get lost, if you get shipwrecked, you're screwed. You're done. Like, you can't.
Yeah.
I've tried it. I was going to an outpost, and my ship ran out of fuel, and I crash landed about 2 kilometers away. But I was on the other side of a hill, and I could not find my way to that base because there was no way for me to navigate. There's no radar. There's no scanning. There's no compass. The star map doesn't zoom in close enough for you to be able to see the ground. So it's like, this is in dire need to be added to the game. And I really thought that they were going to get it in with the derelicts, or at least
what
right
ship
after
were you
them.
flying, by the way?
Oh, man. That was a while ago. I don't know. It might have been Terrapin, maybe. This was like 2018, 2019. I don't even remember.
Okay. Long time ago.
But
gotcha.
yeah, it was a weird situation. I didn't think much of it at the time until I was like an hour away from my ship and no closer to the base. But FPS radar and scanning is one that I really thought that they would get in for us, because they're asking us to go explore these areas and like find loot and stuff. And I'm like, there's no way to actually do it. There's no way to see.
Yeah, without a mission marker.
Yeah. Yeah. So that one really disappointed me.
I think that. Yeah, that would have been a good one. I didn't think much about Pi, the player interaction experience, but I figured it'd be a nice quality of life improvement, and we could always use those.
Oh God, yeah, we can, man.
Yeah, especially with the star map, because bro,
yeah, that's another one.
Map. Whew. Oh my God,
I don't think they took that off, but that's another one that's taken quite a while. Now I have no problem with that one taking a while, as long as it comes out and it's working. So the star map, I got like 3, maybe 4 things that I really want to see on there. We got to be able to search stuff, right? Like, we got to be able to pull up a list of locations like in Elite that you can just jump to. Because it's so annoying rotating around in space for like 10 minutes. You're trying to find that one OM mark you're looking for. Oh, God.
Yeah.
We also need to be able to save locations on that star map. And then the UI can't suck. So, like, if you guys need time to do that, go ahead and take your time. Because if we get a star map and it's bad, I'm going to lose it. I'm going to lose it, man. That thing is torture to use. But
yeah, I agree with you.
But I do hope that we see some UI improvements. And the refueling thing that we saw yesterday with the new interface for player-to-player refueling, that looks like a good step in the right direction for UI. Reputation UI has looked pretty good. Honestly, I'm not the biggest fan of the inventory UIs, but the medical UI also, I think, is good. So I like where they're going with the UI and in the game and the building blocks. So I have some good faith for the star map.
Yeah, me too. And I think you said take your time. Fine, take your time on that. But meanwhile, get the current one working, because I was going to do a series, just a beginner series, and right now I'm like trying to grab footage about jumping, using the star map to jump, and I can't jump before I have to jump somewhere else and then stop the engine and then start jumping and pick my location.
Oh my
I'm like,
gosh,
dude,
yeah.
all right, this ain't gonna work.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a good point, actually. Maybe don't take your time. Maybe get that fixed, because that's kind of like I thought they were going to fix it a few years ago, because they redid quantum travel, and I just assumed that shortly after that they'd probably do something to make the star map a little more usable. Seems like they were just like, you know what, we're just going to leave this here till we get it done.
I'm wondering if it's if that's a persistent streaming dependency right there. Because they want to have it to where, like, you can scroll all the way from missiles being on it all the way out to the whole galaxy, or star systems or whatever.
Yeah, that's probably pretty hard to do. Yeah, that's a good point. I wonder how much trouble that's causing them. Well, the star map's a big one, and I think when it comes out, it'll probably be the highlight of whatever patch it's in. But I just can't get over. I'm a little bummed out, honestly, just to not be able to see what their goals are for the year. The progress tracker. Yeah. It's great for telling you what progress is going on, but it doesn't tell me what the goals are. Because you see this work and it could be like, we did 10 weeks of work on this feature, but we're not actually going to finish it until next year, because next year is when the team that has to work on it is going to work on it. So I know I keep coming back to that, but I can't get over that sort of disappointment. And I hope that they do something to make up for that in the new version.
I'm 100% with you on there. We got to be able to see what's coming ahead to keep people interested.
Yeah.
Just like it's kind of it's a weird comparison, but just like people that are like have a Legatus package or just have bought all the ships, they don't have anything down the road to look forward to work toward because they've got everything. Now, if we've got everything already in front of us on the roadmap and we can't see far ahead, then it's kind of tough to stay engaged.
Exactly. But I want to say I'm hopeful. CIG hasn't given me the best confidence in their roadmap capabilities. I'm hopeful for the year, though. I still think that this is an important year. Like I said, I still think we're getting some big features here. And as long as they're focusing on content, missions, and stuff for players to do, I think they'll be in a good place still. Communication, though, CIG. Let's pick it up.
I think they'll figure it out, man. This is new for them in a sense as well.
It's kind of, they're getting there. They're getting to a point where it's all much different from what they've been doing.
Oh, yeah.
But that basically wraps up our talk for today on Star Citizen. I did want to, before we get off though, I want to acknowledge that it is Black History Month, and I like to celebrate that in the community. I have been posting about it. I've been talking about it, and I think everybody, to be honest, it is Black History Month, but there's no restriction from you looking up your own history. I didn't know my family's history really until recently, and it was Black History Month celebrations that got me to look into it. But I think everybody should. I think it's good to know the past. It's good to know the history of where we've been, where we've come from, and how we got here. But I just wanted to bring that up and acknowledge that. Dig, how do you feel being a Black man in the Star Citizen community? I mean, I've never been part of a online gaming community before, so I don't know how it's always been in terms of diversity. But obviously, many Black people don't have the ability to get a nice computer or don't have the chance to even learn about Star Citizen. What is it like for you though, as somebody who we don't really see many other Black people in the game?
Well, it's definitely weird at first. I was like, dude, where are we at? And I even see comments on my channel like, dude, I didn't know Black people play Star Citizen.
Like,
what's up, bro? I said, what's up, bro?
I've gotten that multiple times, yeah.
Yeah. But hopefully we see more, especially they can see your face. They can kind of see my face now and they'll get more engaged. And I don't think it's that they have the ability to get a PC. It's just not something. I didn't grow up with other people who had PCs. It was all about console gaming, playing Madden and that kind of stuff, where it was almost like a culture, NBA 2K.
Yeah.
But there's a big nerd movement in our community. So, hopefully a lot of them will see more of us, and
there is, man,
join in with us.
I love it. I freaking love it, man. The last 10 years just been blowing up. I honestly have been growing up. I never had anybody to look up to in this industry in terms of Black people in gaming. But man, the last 5 years or so, I found so many big streamers, content creators, representatives, just people that I'm like, damn, it's good to see you here. That's nice.
Yeah.
And
absolutely, man.
And this might be a weird conversation for some people, but it makes a big difference. It really does. Seeing somebody who looks like you in a position that you want to be in. That's huge.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely, man. But we done kicked off February Black History Month with the two of us.
Hey,
so
yeah.
we're doing it right, huh?
Exactly, man. But thank you so much for being here, dude. Thanks for coming by. I really appreciate it. Let the people know, please, where they can find you, your content, what you do for the people. Hit them with the links.
Got to get the people what they. Now, pretty much youtube.com/DigThat32. That's where you find me. I don't really get too much into the Twitters and the I don't know what else is there, TikToks and all that stuff, but definitely just Google DigThat32. You'll find your boy.
Facegrams.
That's right, man. I'm gonna get back into that After Dark series where we keep it sexy for them ships.
Oh, that's right. I remember that.
Yeah.
What happened to that? Just took a break?
You know what? I started writing more of them, and they got more complex where they were like a short film. And I was like, dude, how am I going? Because it's hard to depend on other people to be as engaged doing the roles to help you out with the acting. And, you have to be in a position to really appreciate it. And just, I'm going to get there. I'm going to get back to it, though.
Also, you started doing the interview series in game.
Yeah.
Did you?
Yeah,
I did that.
There,
yeah, that was awesome. I love that. I did that with you and Salty and who's our third guest?
Karate.
Yeah. That was fun, man.
That was cool. I do like that. I had to do another one of those.
You don't do those still?
Nah. I think that might have been the last one with you.
Oh, okay. They take a lot of time too, man. Getting these things set up. It takes time.
And it's hard to do in the verse where anything can happen, but
anything.
We're gonna do it again.
Yeah. All right, man. Well, it sounds good. And again, thank you so much for being here. Before I sign off though and say bye to everybody, just want to remind everyone we're putting out blogs once to twice a week. This is fresh content. It's new stuff going out there that talks about Star Citizen and gaming in general. Check out the YouTube channel. And of course, if you want to keep this all ad-free, please check us out on Patreon. Get a lot of benefits there, including 2 exclusive YouTube videos every month. So hit that up and the link's down below. But my man DigThat is also down there. Give him a follow. Give him a shout. Tell him you said what's up. And until next week, guys, this has been the Launch Sequence Podcast. I've been your host, Keenan. And we'll see you next time.
Dirty citizens.